All right, everyone, get ready for this because we are going deep, deep into one of the biggest upsets of the season.
It was a big one.
It really was. Crystal Palace shutting out Manchester United at Old Trafford 2-0.
Yeah.
If you want to know how Palace pulled it off, we've got it all right here.
Yeah.
Tactical breakdowns, the standout players, and what it all means.
The so what factor.
Exactly, for both teams. And I think what was so fascinating about this, and you touched on this a little bit before the show, but it wasn't just a fluke win by Palace.
No.
They had a plan.
A plan.
And they stuck with it.
And they exposed a lot of Man U's
Weaknesses,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it was wild to watch because everyone expected Man U to just dominate on their home turf.
Everyone.
And then they just got completely shut down. So let's break it down. Let's start with a tactical chess match that kind of played out on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you had Man U's.
So you had their
fluid attacking style. Going up against Palace's defense.
Brick wall.
Yeah, rock solid.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it was almost like watching two completely different footballing, I guess, philosophies, collide. You had Man U and, they're led by Ruben Amorim now,
right,
known for their very unpredictable, attacks and transitions, very quick transitions. And then you have Crystal Palace, now under Oliver Glasner,
right,
playing, like we said, very disciplined and very counterattacking.
So almost like a high-speed sports car weaving through like a concrete maze.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. And Man U lined up in their very familiar 4-3-3 formation.
Right, with a twist.
With a twist.
They had the 19-year-old Kobbie Mainoo playing the false nine.
The false nine.
And I think for those who maybe are newer to football and haven't really encountered the false nine before, this is where it gets really interesting.
It's a little tricky.
Because it's like a magician's illusion.
Yes.
You think you see the striker, and then poof, they're gone.
Yeah, they disappear.
They disappear, and they've gone into the midfield, and they've pulled defenders out of position.
Yes.
And it's all about creating space for other players to make those runs.
Exactly. And it really it messes, like you said, it's a mind game as well.
It is.
Because the defenders are looking around like, where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's so effective when it works.
It is.
But when it works.
When it works, that's the key.
Yeah.
Did it work this time?
That's the question.
Because Amorim was trying to do something here, right?
Well, he was probably trying to compensate for not having the traditional strikers.
Right. And create some chaos in that Palace defense.
Exactly. Just create some confusion, some havoc.
Yeah.
And maybe catch them off guard.
Bold move.
It is a bold move.
But did it work?
I mean, the thing about Palace's 4-4-2 is that they're very disciplined.
Right.
It's two solid banks of four.
Right.
Very compact, very disciplined.
And they shut down passing lanes so well.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly. Exactly. And, Manu, while he definitely has potential.
Showed glimpses.
Yeah, he seemed a little
lost in this role.
And it's not his natural.
It's not his typical position.
No.
And so you could see that he was trying to figure it out,
Yeah, right.
But he did. I mean, it's interesting you brought up that he did hit the post early on.
He did.
So he showed, like you said, glimpses of brilliance.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Palace, they were so good. Their marking was tight. Their discipline was there.
They neutralized
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just completely shut down Man U's attempts to create any chances.
And they clogged up that midfield.
Yeah.
And basically forced Man U to make these attacks that were very predictable.
Right.
And easy to shut down.
So almost like Man U's trying to be unpredictable, but Palace has already got them figured out.
They've already got them figured out.
Yeah.
Every step of the way. And you start to wonder if Amorim should have just gone with a more traditional
approach.
Yeah, especially against a team like Palace. Because they're so
well drilled.
Disciplined.
Yeah, disciplined.
Yeah, they're ready for it. And that leads us to, I think, the real turning point in the match.
Yeah.
Mateda's first goal.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let's talk about Mateda. 2 goals. Unbelievable. The man was on fire. But that first goal, you could feel the energy shift in the stadium.
You could feel it.
As soon as that happened, it was like
deflated Man U.
Yeah, it was just like this gut punch to Man U.
Yeah.
And a moment of brilliance from Mateda because he capitalized on that.
On that mistake.
By Onana. The goalkeeper for Man U. The handling error from the free kick. I mean, and from that point on, Palace, you could just see their confidence just growing with every minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was almost like they had Man U right where they wanted them.
Yeah.
And it's that reminder that, even at the highest level,
The smallest mistake
can be the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, one little error.
It can change everything.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're playing against a team that is as clinical as Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
It wasn't even just like capitalizing on the mistake, though.
No.
It was, Mateda's second goal was like a work of art.
It was beautiful.
It was like a textbook counterattacking goal.
Absolutely. It was like a play. Like they had practiced it a million times and they just executed it to perfection.
Palace won the ball deep in their own half, and then all of a sudden it was like
boom,
boom, boom, boom, series of passes.
And they're sprinting forward.
And then Mateda's just through one-on-one with Onana again, and he slots it in.
So cool. So calm, so collected.
It was amazing to watch, and it happened so quickly.
So fast.
That Man U, it was like they didn't even have time to, react.
Yeah.
It was like one of those, heist movies.
Yeah.
Where the thieves are in and out before the alarm even goes off.
Exactly.
It was like that.
And that's the beauty of Palace's counterattacks. I mean, they were lightning fast.
Yeah.
And they were so efficient, and they just knew exactly when to strike.
Right.
And how to use the spaces left by Man U.
Right, because Man U's so focused on their attack, they leave those gaps.
Yeah.
In the back. And so even when Amorim tries to shake things up a little bit in the second half, he brings on
more traditional
strikers.
Yeah, he brought on Hojlund, he brought on Xerxes.
And yet
Palace's defense.
It was like that wall.
Just, impenetrable, like you said, a brick wall.
They held firm?
They held firm, yeah.
It's amazing.
It's really impressive, actually.
It is impressive because it's not just like they were just clearing the ball every single time.
No, they were smart about it.
They were defending intelligently. Every player knew exactly what they were supposed to be doing.
Their role.
And they were doing it well.
They executed it.
And that's what was so impressive, because it wasn't just about getting rid of the ball.
No.
It was about cutting off those passing lanes.
Anticipating
what Man U was going to...
Yeah, they were one step ahead, it seemed.
It seemed like.
Give Man U the whole game, really.
It did, and that, I think, led to the frustration that we saw building in Man U.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their passing became rushed.
Right.
Their shots were off target.
You could see...
Their attacks became...
The dynamic attack that we're used to seeing from Man U.
Yeah,
just
non-existent. They couldn't get anything going.
And that's a testament to
Palace
defense.
Yeah.
And their tactical awareness.
It really is. It's a fantastic example of how, the underdog in a situation...
With the right plan,
a little bit of luck...
Yeah.
They can topple a giant...
Absolutely. And, it's easy to focus on individual brilliance.
Right, yeah.
But this was a team win.
It was a team effort.
Absolutely. And it's a reminder that in football, talent alone isn't always enough.
Right. You got to have that synergy, that
teamwork, strategy, and that willingness to grind it out.
And that's what Palace had.
And that's what they had.
And that's what Man U seemed to be lacking.
Yeah.
So we talked about kind of the tactical battle that happened.
Yeah.
We've talked about the key moments, the players who stood out. What are the bigger takeaways here?
Yeah.
What does this match tell us about the state of both of these teams?
I think for Man U, this raises some serious questions.
It does.
Their defense, they looked shaky.
Shaky.
Their attack, for all the talent they have up front, there was no cohesion.
Right.
It looked disjointed.
And it makes you wonder if maybe the false nine experiment...
Yeah, did it work?
Did it really work? And even when they brought in the traditional strikers... They couldn't seem to break down
Palace's defense.
That Palace defense. It's almost like they need to kind of go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
And just figure out who they are.
Figure out their identity.
Yeah, because they have the pieces. But they're not quite fitting together yet.
Not quite yet, yeah.
They need to find that balance between the attacking flair that they're known for.
Right.
And that defensive celebrity.
That's so important, yeah.
That's so important. And I think maybe even more importantly, they need to figure out how to build that
team spirit. Yeah, like a sense of purpose when they're out there on the pitch.
Yeah. And then for Palace, this is huge.
Yeah.
It's a confidence boost, right?
Absolutely.
Because it shows that they can compete
with the best.
With these top teams.
In the league. Yeah, and it proves how strong their defensive system is.
It's a validation of everything.
everything. The manager, the players.
They're hard work.
They're hard work, yeah. And it could be, I mean, this could be a springboard for them to
do even more.
Yeah, even bigger things this season.
Yeah, it's crazy how
one match
can just reveal so much about a team.
Yeah, their strength, their weaknesses.
It's like you're looking at them through a magnifying glass.
Absolutely.
You can really see what their potential is, but also the areas where they need to improve.
And that's why we love football.
That's why we watch.
That's why we watch. Yeah. I mean, every match is just, it's a story.
It's a drama.
It's a drama unfolding before our eyes. You know, there's surprises, heartbreaks, and, you know, sometimes those unexpected outcomes teach us the most valuable lessons.
It's funny, you know, because we always talk about like the big clubs, the star players, you know.
The big names.
The big names, yeah.
The fancy goals.
The flashy goals, right? And I think this match really reminds us that football...
so much more than that.
So much more than that. It
really is.
Crystal Palace.
They showed us. They showed us that, you know...
Tactics matter.
Teamwork, a little bit of grit, and you can overcome anything.
You really can. And for fans who... You know, they love the underdog.
They love the underdog.
They love to see, like, you know, a team come in with a game plan.
Yeah.
And execute it.
Perfectly.
Perfectly. This was like a real treat to watch.
It was a great match.
It was.
Very entertaining.
And it sparks, I think, you know, this bigger conversation about, like, the evolution of tactics in football. Because is there still a place for these bold, you know... Unconventional, like the false nine.
Yeah, a false nine, yeah.
Right.
Or is it too risky?
Too risky. Especially against teams like Palace.
Especially against a team like Palace that is so well drilled defensively.
So well drilled.
Yeah.
They shut it down.
They shut it down completely.
Yeah. And so you start to wonder, like, are we going to see more of this?
I think so.
Are we going to see managers, like, rethinking their approaches?
I think managers have to, you know...
They have to adapt.
They have to adapt.
Yeah.
And they have to figure out, like, what works best for their team.
What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses?
And how do we exploit our opponent's weaknesses?
Right.
So it's this balance between, you know, sticking with what's tried and true, but also being creative and, you know...
Innovative. And having, you know, a little bit of that daring.
To try something new.
Yeah, I think so. So whether you are, you know...
It's a fascinating...
Man U fan who's just trying to, like, process,
trying to figure out
what happened,
what just happened,
or you're a Crystal Palace supporter who's just like over the moon right now, ecstatic, or if you're just someone who, you know, loves the beautiful game,
loves football,
and you're just watching this unfold. I think this match offered a lot
to think about, a lot to analyze.
Yeah, and it reminds us that football is...
It's a dynamic sport. It's constantly evolving.
It's full of surprises.
And
there's always...
endless possibilities.
That's why we keep coming back.
That's why we love it.
Yeah. So we've dissected the tactics.
We've gone over the key moments.
You've looked at the key players, but now...
It's your turn.
It's your turn to keep digging.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, you're fascinated by the false nine and you want to research more about
the history of the false nine.
The history of it, how it's evolved.
Or maybe you want to look at
Palace's defensive masterclass.
Yeah, like how did they do it?
How did they shut down?
What were the specific tactics? What were the things they were doing?
Yeah.
Or maybe you're just curious to see how Man U is going to respond in their next match. Right. How do they bounce back from this?
How do they bounce back? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's a whole world of football out there.
For you to explore.
So keep learning. Keep exploring.
And keep enjoying the game.
And keep enjoying this beautiful game. Absolutely. Until next time, remember, every match is a story.
Waiting to be told.
A puzzle waiting to be solved.
And
sometimes it's those unexpected results
that teach us
the most about this
sport that we all love.
Yeah.